Annette Wilson with Remax Syntex in Georgetown, Texas. I am the listing agent for 107 Paloma Point in beautiful Cimarron Hills, Georgetown, Texas. And I would like for you to get to visit with the sellers of this property. It's an incredible property, and I want you to hear their testimony.
The architect for this house was Sullivan, Stevens, and Henry. They are a residential architect out of Houston, Texas, and build mainly custom homes. We were very pleased with their work and worked with us very closely to make whatever modifications we wanted to do. The builder had picked them, and they had done a rough sketch of the house, which we first saw. And the house is very unique because the piece of property could not be duplicated because it's on a hill, and that's how we end up having a lower level to the house. And what we really were attracted initially to the house was the fact that it had basically two living areas. The upstairs living area was approximately 3,000 square feet, where you spent the majority of your time, and we had a guest bedroom and a master. And then the lower level was more of an entertainment area and expanded bedrooms and library and wine cellar and game room. And so you didn't have to maintain this entire house all the time, at least in our situation. And if you had a larger family where older children wanted the privacy of their own rooms, they could be downstairs and the owners of the house could live upstairs and have a lot of privacy. We've had weddings here, and we've had a lot of family members come, and it's just a perfect environment. In fact, we've filled up all the bedrooms on occasions. Everybody just enjoys coming here. In fact, it's sort of become the hangout during the holidays. Well, one of the other drawing cards of this house was the fact that I operated out of our home. And one of the things that appealed to us, the original plans had that back room as a bedroom, and we modified that design to change it into a library and an office. And what really appealed to me was that it was the furthest point away from the most active part of the house, which is the kitchen and the master bedroom and family room. So I can be in my office and not hear a thing while I'm busy doing my normal business work, and they don't hear me and I don't hear them, and it just works out perfect. First thing I like about the house is the area is designed to have this Tuscan look to it. When you look at the design of the house with the 6 porches that we have scattered throughout upper and lower levels, we really do mirror the Tuscan look that Cimarron Hills has tried to impress on the image of the whole neighborhood. A little bit of hill country out here and a little bit of hills and Cimarron Hills, so it all architecturally works together just beautifully. When we developed this house, one of the things that the architect had drawn was an 8-foot wood door. The first thing you see when you come to the front of the house is, of course, the entrance. And we changed that door, and in this part of Central Texas, metal doors are very popular. So we changed that to a 10-foot metal door, just for the striking appearance when you walk into the house. In the original plans, when you come through the front door, the plans called to have an office on the first floor, which certainly still could be used that way. It has pocket doors on it, so you can close the doors. We, because of our prior home, had living room furniture that we had made a significant investment in, and it was all pretty new. And so we decided we'd continue that as a living room for our house. What was nice about that is when you have large gatherings in the house, people have a tendency to group. It was interesting watching how maybe a group of ladies would gravitate to the living room and they could close the door. The children would be downstairs playing on the pool table, and the men would be in the kitchen, cooking or making drinks or whatever they wanted to do. So it really functions very well. In the entrance hall, we actually, part of the architectural design, and you don't really realize it until they start framing the house, it's 30 feet from the top of the ceiling of the stairs going down to the bottom, which is very dramatic and it came out beautiful. Well, two challenges that brought is, one, you have to buy a light fixture that can handle a space that large, and two, when you put a light fixture, which we end up purchasing a very large and dramatic light fixture, how do you change the lights? Which was something we didn't think about at all. Fortunately, we did get some advice from a designer, and she said that you need to put in a commercial lift. And so on the right-hand side as you go down the stairs, there's a little key, and if you turn that key, it actually lowers the light fixture down to eye level, and you can go in there and change light bulbs when they burn out. What also is kind of dramatic is that we like to decorate it at Christmas. So we lower it and we fill it with these large bulbs that we bought, and it makes a very dramatic scene because there's a large window right there and you can see it right through the window, so we turn the light on and we have greens that we put on, and it's pretty spectacular.
My favorite room is the master bedroom. I love it because it's a private little retreat, and it's a great place to just go and sit and read. I feel like I'm in a tree house because of the 200-year-old oak trees that are right outside the window, and it's peaceful, and I can get to the patio if I want, but it is absolutely my favorite room. As a matter of fact, we did have the room enlarged to fit our furniture, which had just recently been purchased, and I don't regret it one bit, although he likes to say I could have 3 sets of furniture for what it cost us to enlarge the house.
One of the things we did in the design of the house is when we took the guest bedroom on the opposite side of the house, on the upper level, we made that bathroom more handicap accessible. The thought at the time was that both our parents relocated after we moved here to Sun City, Texas, and the possibility of something happening and them having to move into the house and having limited mobility, we just thought it was a good thing to have available. So it's got a walk-in shower rather than a bathtub. We had a set of parents move in when they were building their house in Sun City and lived in that back bedroom, and loved every minute of it until they moved into their house. The cabinetry throughout the house was done by Georgetown Woodworks, which is a local cabinet maker, and the wood is all knotty alder, which was an upgrade. Not only did they design the kitchen, but they came in and did some beautiful designs for our wine cellar, the matching woods. Well, the corks were something that we saw in a magazine that was done after we moved in. It took a pretty good collection of corks, and each one had to be hand cut to fit as a little trim around the table in the wine cellar. And every cork is a different bottle of wine. So I've had the pleasure of enjoying some very good wine over the years. One of the interesting things of living in Texas and Central Texas is that we usually have a pretty dramatic spring and fall with the season change, even though it's late in the year. And one of the concerns that we had, and we noticed that was pretty easily available, is what do you do if you get into a situation where there's a tornado in the area? And we were able to do this quite easily, and if you look at the stairs going down to the lower level outside, there's a metal door there, and there's actually a tornado shelter built in with a bench inside. That would be adequate for 3 or 4 or 5 people very easily. And it's close, and it's easy, and it's cut into the side of the hill, and hopefully you never have to use it, but it's always nice to know it's there. And in 2001, there was a very severe tornado in Gerald that came through. Although it wasn't on this path, it wasn't very far off this course. And it was a Category 5, and that was how the whole discussion got started about the concerns, and we ended up adding that to the design of the house. Well, we upgraded the house to make sure we had electrical outlets for any use that we may need. And this included having electrical outlets outside at the top of the roof line for use of Christmas lights. And so they go around the whole entire front of the house. And do they go around the back? And I guess the entire length of the house, which was something we had some friends did in their house, and it makes it a lot easier if you want to decorate outside.
Great neighborhood. I love the back porch. It's peaceful. great view that will never be built on right as the view out the back porch.
Actually, the other important thing that most people don't understand is the direction a house is on a lot. When you live in Texas, you get a very intense western sun, particularly in the summer. And so if your house is facing the west, particularly in the back, a lot of beautiful homes can't be used because it's so hot in the back. This house is actually angled in such a way that the garage faces the west. So the areas that you use, the porches, are actually shaded during the summer. We have fans on all the porches. And it's really just a pleasure to sit outside, even in the summer, and have dinner on the back patio. It just makes a wonderful environment. We also have a very special summer kitchen, as they call it on the architectural plans, downstairs with a built-in barbecue grill and enough room for the table if you want to eat there or eat upstairs. And we have a television outlet, although we never put in a television.
We have the greatest neighbors ever. The house across the street is lived in by a gentleman who designed his home, and he's meticulous about it. It's fabulous for us to be able to look across the street and see such a beautiful home maintained to perfection every minute of the day. Friendly and nice, and the people next door to us are generous and pleasant, and doctors, and always available if I have a medical question, and my neighbor on the corner is fun. It's a great street. It is a really great street. There's not one person on this street that isn't wonderful. I love everything about Cimarron House.
Very true, and everyone really maintains their property beautifully. The only house that was available on the street just sold last week, and that's at the end of the street. And they got moved to California, so they had to leave. And it's my understanding the empty lot next to us on the left-hand side, they have submitted plans and plan to build a house. So this is one of the first streets in Cimarron that actually every lot will be completely finished. And it's a beautiful street. And the other real advantage to this street is that it's very close to the club, far enough away that you don't have the club noise, but close enough that if you want to go to the club for any reason, and being in Cimarron, you get an automatic social membership. It's very close to go have dinner or use the exercise facility or anything like that. Or the pool.
You can call them and say, I'd like to pick up if you don't want to cook that night, and they will have food ready for you. And you just get it. And it's wonderful. Good food, easy, it's fabulous. I love everything about Cimarron House.
Jack Nicklaus came in here and built a signature golf course, and there's different levels of Jack Nicklaus courses. The signature is the top course that he designs. It's a beautiful course. It's a challenging course. It's very unique in the fact that none of the holes touch each other. Difficult enough that every time you go out you find it still challenging. The nice thing about living in a neighborhood like this is that there's a lot of different levels of golfers. So there's the very good golfers who like to play golf with the very good golfers, and there's the group like I play in called the Creekers, which are men who just enjoy the game, get together, we all play at about the same level, and there's no tension, and we just have a great time.
And not much money changes hands?
We do play for a little bit of money, and it just goes around in a circle. No one ever gets concerned about how much money they win or lose.
Why did you pick Cimarron Hills to build your home?
We just love Texas and wanted to get back. I'm a golfer, and so the idea of being able to play golf was appealing to me. I think what really pushed us initially was the fact that we just liked the design. And Cimarron was fairly new and was just being developed, so there was a little concern at that time of the progress at Cimarron. We were fairly early when Cimarron's opened. Since then, it's expanded tremendously, and there's a lot of development in here, and there's a lot of new development going on. So we've been very happy, and we're really looking to retire, size down, and we just may build another house in Cimarron.